Welcome to the Quiet Between, a place to pause for a few minutes in the middle of a noisy world. My name is Mark Ammons, and I'm glad you're here. Now, this world we live in can be pretty harsh sometimes. Not only through major tragedies, but through just the steady accumulation of pressure, conflict, disappointment, physical and emotional exhaustion. And after a while, many people begin protecting themselves by, becoming harder. Makes sense. If you don't want to get hurt, you've got to put up some sort of a shield, some sort of a harder crust. That whole thick skin approach. And when they become harder, when we become harder, we can become less patient, less trusting, less open, less willing to listen. And, that's all understandable. Because pain, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, all types of pain, often teach us to build armor. So one of the challenges of being an adult is learning how to remain kind without becoming naive. How to remain open-hearted without allowing the world to completely wound us over and over again. Because kindness is not weakness. In many ways, kindness, choosing to be kind, is one of the bravest choices a human being can make. Especially after disappointment, after being attacked, verbally, unkindly, after betrayal of friendship, of love, and especially after carrying grief. Anyone can become cynical eventually, but remaining gentle and kind in a difficult world requires intentional effort. And perhaps, just maybe, kindness means and matters a lot more than we realize. Things like, a patient word, a thoughtful message, a thank you card, a quiet act of compassion, a willingness to listen, even when you're really in a hurry, or you really think that there's some more important things that you need to do. Taking that time to listen can change a relationship. These things often become turning points. Turning points in your day, and certainly turning points in someone else's potentially really difficult day. Many people are far, far more discouraged than they appear. They're far more lonely. They're far more exhausted. So many of us carry so much more on our plates, on our shoulders, in our hearts, than we ever let on. Which means that ordinary kindness, just your run-of-the-mill kind smile, kind comment, word of gratitude, can feel almost sacred. And importantly, and this is really important, kindness also includes how we speak to ourselves. And we all do speak to ourselves. Some of us have an ongoing dialogue throughout every day. And usually, we are a lot harder on ourselves than anyone else is on us, and usually than we are on anyone else. Some people extend endless compassion outwardly while speaking to themselves with relentless criticism. But guess what? Healing rarely grows well in harsh soil. Sometimes we need to learn how to treat ourselves with patience. With the same patience we would offer someone whom we deeply love. Sometimes even with the same patience that we treat just perfect strangers. Not excusing everything and not avoiding responsibility, but simply allowing ourselves to accept that we aren't perfect, that we're trying, and that after all, that also is part of the human experience. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to more fully live, to be more fully present and more fully loving. Sometimes the strongest people are not the loudest. Sometimes the strongest people are the people who continue choosing gentleness despite everything that they have endured or are enduring. Sometimes these are the people who continue listening. They continue helping, they continue encouraging, and they continue loving. Even after life has given them reasons to withdraw from the conflict of life, to withdraw from engagement with others. But instead they choose to listen, to help, to encourage, to love. And perhaps the world changes more through those quiet, selfless acts of goodness than we realize. Imagine if so many more of us would choose kindness over criticism, kindness toward others, kindness to ourselves, over criticism to others and criticism of ourselves. A single moment of compassion can alter the emotional direction of an entire day, sometimes even an entire life. And maybe one of the greatest forms of quiet resistance in a harsh world is this: choose to be kind anyway. No matter what nasty curveballs the world throws at you, no matter how difficult the ground is that you're trying to till, choose kindness and resist the harshness of the world. So, hold on to kindness. Make it a part of who you are and who you want to become. Make it a part of how you treat others and how you treat yourself. And, as always, if these quiet reflections are meaningful to you, and you'd like to support more conversations like this, you can subscribe or become a supporting member through The Quiet Between. And if someone came to mind while you were listening today, share this reflection with them. A little kindness often travels farther than we can ever imagine. I'm Mark Ammons, and as always, thank you for being here.